HIBY R6 Pro Max. This is the player itself, and this is the box, and this whole thing priced at 999 US dollar, or basically 1000 US dollar. And I will not waste your time doing the unboxing because I have already done that in a separate video. You can watch it if you want to know the contents. And I will also not waste your time reading the specification because this thing contains a lot of specification, lot of stuff under the hood. You can easily go to HIBY website and read through it. But I like to highlight that this thing, for the price of 1000 US dollar, you are getting super impressive content. The build, everything, arm to the teeth. We are talking about flagship stuff. We are talking about reference stuff. So let's dig into this. HIBY R6 Pro Max. Let's start with the dimension and the size itself and the weight. This is my phone, Sony Xperia 1 Mark IV, which is also classified as 6-inch screen. This R6 Pro Max, by the way, is 5.9 TFT. This is AMOLED. This is my favorite digital audio player, which is IBASO DX260. You can see the size difference here. Klean N6 Mark III. Okay. I have here something which is pretty much similar to HIBY R6 Pro Max, which is IBASO DX340. So, you can see side by side, these are the differences in size for all these latest digital audio player. And I'm just going to put it like this. There we can see that this DX260 weighs at around 355 gram. And this, the next one, Klean N6 Mark III, weighs at 570 gram. This IBASO DX340 should be the heaviest at around 700, almost 775 gram. This HIBY R6 Pro Max weighs at around 657 gram. So bear in mind, if you have every intention of getting digital audio player like this and this or this, the lightest one is IBASO DX260 or even DX180. So this requires a bit of commitment to carry around because the weight is way over 600 gram. HIBY R6 Pro Max comes with this 5.9 inch of TFT display. As you can see here, the contrast is fairly okay, the brightness is fairly okay, the resolution is okay. It is 1080p by the way. And let me just adjust the brightness to the maximum. And this is how it looks like. Okay, you can see there. It is quite bright. But if I subject this to, let's say, comparison with the rest of the digital audio player which I have, as you can see here, compare with DX340, compare with DX260, and even compare with Klean N6 Mark III, under direct sunlight, I would say that this HIBY R6 Pro Max kind of a bit subdued with the contrast itself, with the brightness. So just bear in mind that this is not so very well suited for very bright situation. And at the bottom here, you're going to find very interesting array of these jacks here, which is, these are the two ports for line out dedicated, and these are the two ports for phone out, headphone only or IEM only. And this 4.4, 3.5, 3.5 and 4.4. And this is the USB Type-C at which you're going to charge it. It supports quick charge. And at the side here, just have a look at that. Okay, these are the slot for you to insert micro SD. Up to 2 TB is supported. And these are the play and pause button. The middle one being the play and pause. This is the bottom one being reverse and the top one being forward. And on this side here, we have this LED indicator, which will also change with the kind of resolution that you're playing. This is of course on and off button, and this is volume up and down. It supports 100 volume adjustment. One of the key reasons that you would want to have something like this HIBY R6 Pro Max is that because it has several working modes. So now we are running in Android mode, which is the default one. You can also switch to pure audio mode, which only means that you're going to run local playback. So as you can see here, I already have quite a number of library which is on my micro SD already scanned. And the next mode would be the USB DAC mode, of which will allow you to connect to any host which support external USB DAC mode. And you can choose whether you want to charge or not charge it, okay, to conserve battery life. And of course, you can easily switch to Bluetooth mode, which is a two-way communication, and it supports everything, including HIBY exclusive UAT highest resolution Bluetooth mode. As you can see here, it is equipped with Snapdragon 65 high-end flagship level ES9039M Pro. Two of them inside, 6 GB of memory, 128 GB of storage, 8002 mAh of battery. HIBY claimed that this device would be able to run 9 hours of runtime. In fact, it was quite impressive that I was able to get 9 hours 30 minutes when I run in Android mode, local audio playback, 4.4 balance, and using high gain. And then when I switched to pure audio mode, no connectivity at all, I was able to get, in fact, 10 hours. Very impressive. And then when I switched to streaming, running on Tidal like this, I was able to get 9 hours. And that is definitely super impressive. Now let's talk about operating temperature. Because dedicated digital audio player like this and this, they tend to run kind of a bit hot because they are so very powerful. I have conducted some comparison tests between all four of them, running in high gain from the 4.4 balance, driving magnetic planar IEM for 2 hours. And the result that I get, this IBASO DX260 was able to score at around 35C, which is impressive. And this Klean N6 Mark III, you have to remember, running in E203, which is Class A hyper mode, runs hottest at around 39, almost 40C. And this IBASO DX340, despite being more powerful than this DX260, surprisingly register also the same temperature at 35C. So this HIBY R6 Pro Max registered at around 37C, which is fairly good, I would say. HIBY R6 Pro Max will offer different level of power depending on where you connect to, because there are 4 jacks here. So let's just start with the phone out itself. From the 3.5 single-ended, you're gonna get 2.39 VRMS. Fairly okay, I would say, the voltage swing itself. And you're gonna get double that power if you connect to the 4.4 balance. So just remember this. 3.5 single-ended will offer you 50% of the real power of this R6 Pro Max. The rating for the 3.5 single-ended is pretty low, I would say, at around just 179 milliwatt of power, and very impressive when it comes to this 4.4 balance, which is rated at 697 milliwatt, almost 700. So just remember this. If you want to connect to something which is demanding like this Sennheiser HD600 here, which is 300 ohm, or even this Hi-Fi Aria Unveiled, I would highly recommend to run in 4.4 balance and run in high gain, because you're gonna get full authority, the kind of sound which you can expect from dedicated desktop DAC amp. Don't ever connect these two on the 3.5 single-ended, because you're gonna get 50% and you're not gonna get full performance from these two headphones. I am currently testing this Moondrop Meteor. So you might be wondering, with the signal to noise ratio rated at 121 dB or even 126 dB from the 4.4 balance, it is quite impressive. I am not hearing any kind of floor noises at all. This thing is super dark. This is super clean with the background itself, even running very sensitive hybrid. It is silent as it is very powerful. One of the most important key feature of this HIBY R6 Pro Max is that the ability to run on dedicated line out mode, as I have shown you earlier, these two things here. So in this example, this HIBY R6 Pro Max is optimized to be a host to feed your external amplifier, like my Stack SRM002 here, which is one of my favorite, and also my Shure KSE 1500. These two will need clean line out in order to perform optimal. And I must say that I am just super impressed, because the line out from this HIBY R6 Pro Max is pretty much equivalent to the kind of desktop DAC amp performance which I have used, like all this that you see here. From time to time, I get asked this question: why would anybody would want to carry a heavy digital audio player like this HIBY R6 Max Pro? And my simple answer, this is for people who are looking to push for maximum possible resolution, quality, and performance. This R6 Pro Max is rated for DSD 1024 resolution on top of being able to resolve PCM 768. That is the absolute maximum that you can get nowadays when it comes to resolution. And what is DSD 1024? We know that there is already DSD 512, and I thought that was the highest. You can purchase this high resolution DSD 1024 from this website, which is called Native DSD, and I do have quite a number of them in my library. And to play back that kind of song, very high resolution song, I needed something like this. So to give you a perspective, you see here, these are my desktop setup. Burson Audio Playmat 2, X-Duo XD05T, and also this HIBY FD5. Playing 512 resolution, 1 bit, no problem at all with all of this. But I do admit that this Burson Audio Playmat 2, despite being my reference desktop DAC amp, wasn't able to play anything above 45,000 kHz. Anything above 45,000 kHz, it will not be able to play. And this thing can play 1 bit, this thing can play 1 bit. But, you want to know something? None of this desktop setup was able to play DSD 1024, except for this. Now you get an idea why I would want to have this maximum resolution. As for the sound itself, I classify this HIBY R6 Pro Max as being super transparent, neutral, and uncolored. Assuming that you're not playing with the MSEB, assuming that you're not playing with the plugin, or assuming that you're not playing with the PEQ, then you can expect faithful reproduction of sound coming from this device. So what does it mean by being transparent and neutral? For example, faithful sound reproduction means that you are hearing it as how it was intended to be, as when you attach something like this, which is Hafayman Aria unveiled, very transparent, very neutral, uncolored, or even something like this Sennheiser HD 600, which I have somewhere around here. If transparency is important to you, rest assured this is the very best, one of the very best transparent digital audio player in the market now. On top of being highly technical, resolving, analytical, the good thing about this HIBY R6 Pro Max is that it does not sacrifice on the element of musicality. So you can expect very well balanced sound there between musical and analytical, and it does not sound overly sterile, or it does not sound sterile at all, and it does not sound dry. It is rich with the density of the sound itself, and it is also very smooth overall. How does this HIBY R6 Pro Max compares against some of the competition in the market in the sub $1,000 all the way to under $2,000? So let's get started with this iBasso DX260. Both of them pretty much, I would say, within the same price point, which is just under $1,000. However, you can clearly see here that first and foremost, DX260 is smaller, lighter, and it also easier to carry around, more portable. This thing is equipped with 4,400 mAh of battery, and this is equipped with 8,002 mAh of battery. I must say that despite the smaller battery, this DX260 was able to run slightly longer at 1 hour mark. This one, just 1 hour shorter. And it also runs a bit cooler at 35C as opposed to this running at 37C. But on top of it, you must remember, the limitation of this DX260 is that it will not be able to resolve anything beyond DSD256. And I don't have to say much about this R6 Pro Max because, as I have shown you earlier, this thing is a beast when it comes to resolution. DSD 1024, that is crazy. The most surprising thing is that when it comes to power delivery, this DX260 is in fact a bit more powerful. In fact, it is rated at 1015 milliwatt of power at 32 ohm, while this one is just rated just under 700 milliwatt of power at 697 maximum. So you can see the difference there. But when it comes to sound and performance, assuming that you are not pushing beyond 300 ohm, then these two are pretty much, I would say, on equal footing when it comes to sound and performance and quality. Why? Because this DX260 contains octa-core CS43198. High-end Cirrus Logic DAC inside, and this one is equipped with high-end ESS Sabre ES9039 MS, two of them inside. So equal performance when it comes to being transparent, neutral, articulation of detail, everything, both of them are pretty much on par. Klean N6 Mark III, the latest one from Klean, priced at 1,299 US dollar, literally 300 US dollar more expensive than this HIBY R6 Pro Max. But what you're gonna get in return, something which is modular with the DAC-M segment, as you can see here. You can easily detach this even while switch on, and you can easily change the motherboard to any DAC-M that you like, any offering from Klean. If you look at the physical aspect of it, definitely this N6 Mark III is smaller, shorter and lighter and easier to carry around. The surprising thing is that despite being smaller, it is equipped with bigger battery at 9,000 mAh of battery, where this is equipped with 8,002. The endurance of both of them are pretty much very similar at around 9 hours of runtime doing the same thing. Another major difference between these two is that this N6 Mark III with this motherboard which I have now, which is E203, comes only in phone out configuration. There's no line out. While this R6 Pro Max, of course, offer both line out and phone out. And the most important aspect, again, the resolution. Obviously, this R6 Pro Max, again, as I mentioned earlier, runs DSD 1024, while this N6 Mark III only capable of 5121 bit. No problem at all, but if you are pushing for resolution, again, this is the winner here. And on top of it, both of them are pretty much very well matched when it comes to sound and performance, provided that you are keeping it at under 300 ohm. Why? Because this N6 Mark III would be able to push higher with the 900 milliwatt of power, as opposed to this R6 Pro Max, which can only push up to 700 milliwatt of power from the 4.4 mm balance high gain. IBASO DX340. Let's just have a look side by side. Both of them are pretty much, I would say, almost identical in many ways on the dimension, because this is 6-inch AMOLED, this is 5.9-inch TFT screen. Obviously, this is bigger, slightly bigger and heavier too by 100 gram. And just have a look at the thickness, similar as well. But the difference being is that this thing is priced at 1,699 US dollar. Yes, literally like 700 US dollar more expensive than this HIBY R6 Pro Max. But one thing that they both share in common is that both of them are very well packed with so many features inside and out. However, this DX340 does come with modular amplification mode, which is discrete, and you can easily take it out and replace with any kind of board, which IBASO might release very soon. And on top of it, I think the most glaring obvious difference between these two is that this thing is crazily powerful at over 2000, yes, 2000 milliwatt of power per channel at 32 ohm from the 4.4 mm balance. That is crazy powerful. So as a result of that, DX340 is an absolute winner when it comes to driving super demanding stuff like this Hi-Fi-Man Aria here, or even Sennheiser HD600. You can get 100% performance from those headphones from this DX340, while this HIBY R6 Pro Max would be able to deliver perhaps at around 95%. So there are some differences there. But when it comes to resolution, imaging and everything, assuming that you are keeping it at under DSD 512, then they are pretty much very closely matched. However, because of that huge power gap, this does sound a bit richer, denser and smoother in the upper frequency when it comes to the overall sound performance due to the extreme amount of power that this thing offer. But on top of it, when it comes to feature, I would say that this HIBY R6 Pro Max, again, it offers the best resolution. Despite being super impressive like this thing wasn't able to play DSD 1024 like this. So that is kind of a bit mind-blowing. This is still better when it comes to absolute resolution. Being transparent, being neutral, both of them offer the same thing. So I am completely happy with any one of them, except when I want to push for higher resolution, then I would go for this. If you like what you're hearing, what you're seeing, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. And also please take a moment to click like here. It will really help me out. It is free, by the way. And also please follow me on Instagram, which I have set up very recently. My Instagram will be a platform for me to provide quick updates on the things that I do beyond this video. And again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart.